Hi everyone. I watched the Netflix Nollywood film called Lost in London. It was released in 2017, and I'm just going to go ahead and read you my film review and tell you about my thoughts and what I learned watching this film. So, Lost in London is about two men, Bona and Okon, who are from Nigeria. They're accepted into a university abroad program in London, so they're heading over to study. They know each other in Nigeria, but they spend most of the movie apart, experiencing the trials of life in London alone, which makes it all the more harder for them. This film is all about cultural shock, facing the realities of expectations, and navigating life in a foreign place when you have nothing and you start with nothing. So, no connections, no money, few friends, no friends actually, little money, and few skills that prove useful. Bona and Okon end up staying past the time allotted by their visas, and they struggle to make ends meet in London until they eventually decide to return to Nigeria at the end of the film. Lost in London is basically a montage of the interactions that our main characters, Bona and Okon, experience with the people of London. Bona, for one, expects all the Nigerians that he comes across to treat him like a real brother and to freely give him help and money. He's always saying, you're my brother or you're my sister, so let me stay at your house, give me a meal, pay for my bus fare. Stuff like that that we don't really expect usually. Similarly, Okon slowly realizes that London is not the place of magic that he expected initially, where everyone is successful and happy and helpful. He becomes bitter towards London as he realizes that there are less helping hands than he anticipated after he gets mugged in an alley and is even tricked by a rather harmless man who offers him a place to stay in exchange for sexual attention. While the whole 90 minutes is rather comical, I recognized many important themes in the film that we discussed in 385 as a class. The film pokes fun at people who express their single story of Africa. It's apparent in the way that the Londoners treat Bona and Okon. For example, in one scene, Bona is told by his new girlfriend's ex-boyfriend, who is white, that Bona should return to the jungle with the rest of his monkeys. And Okon faces active discrimination from a white man who claims to not understand his pidgin and unnecessarily asks him to repeat himself multiple times. In both of these scenes, the creators have made it pretty funny, and they're poking fun at the white people because the white people are acting ignorant and racist, and you can tell what they're doing. It's pretty clever. But anyways, Okon resorts to try speaking with a British accent, which only makes the matters worse for his conversation. Bona finds a really sweet and understanding British girlfriend, however, who acts the polar opposite of the racist and naive Londoners who treat Bona and Okon so poorly. So she's kind of a light in the dark, to show, how people are supposed to treat each other. Though this film was not set in America, Lost in London really reminded me of Americana and the identity struggle that arises when one finds themselves in another culture, adopting the characteristics of the people around them. At one point, Bona is speaking on the phone with his older brother, who is in Nigeria, when his brother literally cuts him off and says that Bona is speaking with a new accent, that he doesn't like it and that he needs to stop. Bona's very surprised and taken aback, and he quickly turns it off, just like a light. There are many instances of code switching too, in which Bona and Okon speak differently to achieve a goal. So I see Lost in London as a comical refute of Heart of Darkness's misrepresentations of Africans. This film takes stereotypes that in Africans laid out in Western literature and pokes fun at them, almost as to say, how can anyone think this? I really enjoyed this film and making connections that matter while watching it. I recommend it to anyone, really. I think anyone can enjoy it. The lighthearted humor is sure to entertain you all while reinforcing the barriers around Nigerian literature that we broke down in 385 together. Thanks for watching.